government, the private sector, local communities, academia, and research centers, and of course the media. Now, these principles of the model are embedded in services which are delivered through specific practices and interfaces. The components of this delivery include, first of all, tailoring. This is very important for this model of care. It goes with flexibility. Kids Company has an understanding of the need to constantly tailor their delivery, to adjust, to adapt what they do to the needs of individual clients. This is expressed, for instance, in the interactive delivery of therapy, where service provision includes a range of therapies which are tailored for the needs of the child. What is important here is that the rules are flexible and responsive to the situation of children. The staff will adapt different styles of therapy depending on what is effective for the individual child. They are able to do so because they work in a truly multidisciplinary environment, and they draw on evidence, they draw on cutting-edge research. All the services develop around a very strong dialogue between different people that will eventually provide a pool of internal resources across centers and programs. This is called at Kids Company the salad bar. So the different resources are offered to compose the ideal plate of care, adapted, tailored to the needs of every individual child. And finally, the interface with the statutory sector and parents and families. This is a very important interface in the delivery. They are crucial for the work of charity and the ones that not accidentally present the main challenges faced by Kids Company. All these principles and the strategies of delivery come together in key working, which is the central routine of care in the delivery of Kids Company. Key working comprises all the principles of the model and offers a very comprehensive example of the work of the charity. Key working starts with helping the child with the basic socioeconomic needs: food, housing, benefits, helping with the legal system, helping with filling a form. It's a very basic and very practical start. But it continues by supporting communication and helping the child to manage relations with the immediate environment and the wider society. So at the same time, the key worker is building trust and relational engagement with the client, allowing the experience that someone is there, someone is real, someone can be relied upon, someone is there for the child. Key working in this sense comprises addressing practical and emotional needs, developing a very nurturing, stable, committed relationship that is unconditionally supportive. I want to emphasize the word unconditional, because the word unconditional comes with the practice of love. By helping children practically, key working lays foundations for a deeper emotional engagement that empowers children to reconstruct self-esteem and develop trust towards adults and the wider institutions of the public space, so that eventually children can move positions from being victims to becoming heroes, from being perpetrators to become survivors. Now, what makes this model unique and what makes it effective? First, exceptionally high levels of staff morale and dedication. Staff motivation and commitment are very high at Kids Company and a central component of the organization's efficacy. There are very high levels of private work, with 97% of staff and volunteers feeling proud of their achievements. As we can see in the graph, working at Kids Company is stimulating and exciting, with 94% of staff and volunteers agreeing or strongly agreeing job is rarely dull or boring. Job dynamisms coexist with very high levels of pride in the work being done, with 97% of staff and volunteers agreeing or strongly agreeing that their achievements are a source of pride. In addition, the staff feel confident about their skills and see themselves as competent workers who know how to perform their jobs, with 96% of the staff and volunteers agreeing or strongly agreeing that they're doing a good job. Now, many organizations will feel for these results. And this company has another very important dimension of their effectiveness is the fact that the staff is participatory, staff participates, and the staff is proactive. If 92% of staff and volunteers agree or strongly agree that they have the opportunity to use their skills and initiative in the work they do. They also feel that they contribute to the success of the organization, with 95% of respondents stating that they strongly agree that their participation is valuable. Now, these results are corroborated by statements from the open-ended comments included in our questionnaire and the qualitative interviews and group discussions, which reveal that working for Kids Company is considered an integral life experience where professional and personal motivations come together. So this is the first dimension that explains what makes this model unique and effective. The second, the second dimension that makes this model so effective and unique are the widespread structures of support implemented internally and externally for the children and staff alike. Here is an interesting point of debate for us later today about the differences between the third sector and the statutory sector, what's going on in the culture, in the institutional culture of the care professions, for instance. There are structures of care inside Kids Company that operate for the children and for staff alike. We call this, in our research, this widespread structures of support, chains of scaffolding, and they are a central finding of our research and of the model of work of Kids Company. Now, chains of scaffolding. Working at Kids Company is obviously challenging. There are limited resources, and dealing with developmental adversity on a daily basis involves considerable stress. The work is rewarding, but it can also be stressful in upsetting. The commitment, persistence, and dedication of staff, which are exceptionally high, obviously do not come down from the sky. There are structures and actions of support that create an internal environment that motivates and empowers staff, that fundamentally looks after staff so that the staff can look after vulnerable children and families. This scaffolding occurs through multiple formal and informal activities delivered by different interactive structures that include management, peer and group-based and one-to-one support, from supervision to informal communication on a daily basis to managerial structures. All of this enables this collective intelligence to develop, emotional and social support to be widespread. There is cohesion and a sense of community inside Kids Company. When we work there, you could observe that very clearly. It's fun to work at Kids Company. People are obviously having a good time there. You know, it's something that is fun to go into their sites. Despite the adversity they are facing, they are not miserable. They are happy people, and they pass this on to each other. So these positive features of the environment are beneficial for staff, and importantly, they are beneficial for the children who come into Kids Company and are able to experience there what they do not experience elsewhere: emotional and social support, group cohesion, a positive social identity, a strong sense of community. So this social capital, based on high communication, capacity to hold, contain and support are important assets utilized to nurture the internal working environment of the charity and to provide a positive model for the children. So this model works because it's delivered by people who have a strong vocation, are deeply motivated, and share the vision and the aims of the organization. There are, of course, many challenges to implementing such a model. The most important ones being the interface with the statutory sector and limited and unstable funding, which is a major source of stress and anxiety for staff and a massive challenge for the sustainability of Kids Company. This is something that everyone needs to think about. So the key conclusions arising from our study are: Kids Company is a charity that works directly on the effects of developmental adversity, which, let's not forget, is a major threat to the future of healthy societies and cohesive public space. Kids Company combines flexibility and high levels of staff commitment and satisfaction to enable absolute focus on the needs of vulnerable children. It offers to the child the knowledge that someone cares, loves, and will not give them up, irrespective of any challenging and unstable response that may come back from the child. Collaborations between Kids Company and the statutory sector involve substantial challenges. Addressing this challenge is imperative for supporting children and young people in need. Kids Company works as a border crosser and mediator between disadvantaged, invisible children and the wider public sphere. They do a great deal, however, much work remains to be done to raise the visibility of vulnerable children and support the work of the charity in the UK and internationally. Our research found that the model of work of Kids Company achieves much for some of the most vulnerable and invisible populations in the UK. Its commitment and open door policy have guaranteed provision and support for thousands of children who are denied basic services and rights. But much remains to be done. Its company requires support from society and from the state to continue developing the excellence of its overall model of care. Let us not forget that more than 1 in 4 children live in poverty in the UK today. I very much hope that our conference will emphasize the urgency of their situation, as well as the lessons that can be learned from those who are working so hard and so effectively to support them. Thank you very much.